If you want to learn or improve your serve technique, this masterclass is exactly for you. Starting now, I'll show you the complete guideline for great serves using nobody less than Novak Djokovic. So please hit that subscribe button and let's get started. The first thing you need to do to serve well is use a continental grip, holding the racket on bevel number 2. With this grip, you should see the racket face pointing to the side and sometimes slightly up. This position allows you to hit all types of serves in tennis. The second key element I want to show you for developing a solid serve technique is your starting position. Ideally, you should stand sideways to the net. This allows you to use your body rotation to generate more power in your serve. Now, let's talk about a super important element for a reliable serve, the toss. The toss is simply how you place the ball in the air before you hit it. And nothing is more frustrating for a player than an inconsistent toss, when you never know where the ball is going to end up. That unpredictability is one of the main reasons players make so many serve mistakes. So here's my first tip. Lift the ball mainly using your shoulder and avoid bending your elbow or wrist in a way that interferes the trajectory you want. Your non-dominant arm should stay extended, moving in a slow and smooth motion. That way, the ball doesn't go too high and you can place it exactly where you want. Typically, for a flat or slice serve, you toss the ball slightly in front and to the right, around the 1 o'clock position if you are right-handed. But if you're going for a kick serve, the toss should be more above your head, closer to the 12 o'clock position. And even though you may see professional players with a relatively high toss like the WTA pro Arina Sabalenka, I recommend that recreational and amateur tennis players keep their toss a little bit lower. A great example is Novak Djokovic. With a lower toss, you have much more control over where you place the ball for each type of serve. At contact, it's also easier because you're hitting a more stationary ball, closer to the peak of its height. On top of that, you develop better rhythm and acceleration in your motion. Since the ball spends less time in the air, you naturally have to accelerate your racket more. That leads to higher racket speed, which improves both the pace and the spin of your serve, giving you more control overall. Now, let's talk about the different rhythms of the arms, trunk, and legs during the serve. Even though there are slightly variations between players, I'd like you to use Novak Djokovic's serve as a reference, since it's a highly efficient model. Let's start by noticing that the non-dominant arm, the one that performs the toss, initiates the upward motion first. At the same time, the dominant arm, which holds the racket, remains in a lower position. This intentional delay of the dominant arm increases the distance it has to travel to reach the ball. That extra range of motion helps improve fluidity and allows for greater racket acceleration into contact. Now we get to one of the most important parts of the serve, the moment where you load the most energy before exploding into the shot. This is called the trophy position. Here is what it should look like. Your tossing arm stays straight, pointing at the ball. Your trunk is slightly turned back. Your hitting arm brings the racket up near your face, and your legs stay bent. From there, the racket moves in a circular motion from right to left if you are right-handed. Then, as your legs extend, everything works together at the same time. The racket drop, the lowering of the tossing arm, and the rotation of the trunk. Now, here's something most tennis coaches never explain properly. At the end of the kinetic chain, the structure that actually transfers all the power you've created into the ball is your arm, right? And if you want to maximize your acceleration and amplify it through the elastic power of your muscles, it's essential that the racket drop happens as a consequence of the upward leg drive combined with a correct racket position, what Ryan Reedy from 2 Minute Tennis calls knocking the birthday hat. The combination of these two movements increases the stretch placed on the chest and shoulder muscles, allowing your arm to respond like a slingshot, transferring maximum power into your serve. Here is another subtle detail in Djokovic's serve that almost nobody talks about, but it can seriously improve your contact point and racket speed. It's all about what your non-dominant arm does after the toss. As your chest starts rotating towards the net, don't let the arm keep flying out to the side and behind your body. Instead, pull it back in toward your stomach. Why? Because that briefly slows down your trunk rotation and helps transfer more speed into your hitting arm and ultimately into the racket. Now we're getting to the final concept of the serve technique, forearm pronation during the acceleration phase and follow through. Pronation is one of the key elements that allows players to transfer all the energy generated by the body into the racket and ultimately into the ball. And the interesting part is that, in a technically efficient serve, pronation tends to happen naturally as a consequence of the movement. When you use the continental grip correctly and generate energy through your legs, trunk rotation, and shoulder motion, the forearm naturally rotates during the acceleration phase. This rotation helps maximize racket speed, improves spin production, and allows clean contact into the ball. Without pronation, you would most likely to hit the ball with the edge of the racket instead of the strings. A great way to understand this movement is by comparing it to a baseball pitch or football throw. In both motions, the arm naturally rotates as energy travels through the kinetic chain and gets released at the end of the movement. The tennis serve works very much the same way, except now you're throwing the racket towards the ball instead of releasing it. If you want me to analyze your tennis technique, strategy, or help you to find the best racket for you, please send me a message using the link in description and the first pinned comment.